morning, Morgan. This footage is from a hot day in July when I found myself in a quaint little German town called Bacharach. The Rhine Gorge is famous for being, well, beautiful, but also for the nearly 40 castles and forts built upon its hills. I saw several from a distance and then found directions for hiking up to one. After 7 months in Europe, I may have gotten blasé, however, because I honestly enjoyed the view more than I enjoyed touching the old stonework that jutted out of the hillside like a crooked tooth. After a laborious hike up the hill and a wander around the grounds, I opted to take a different path of descent, and unexpectedly came upon this, the surprisingly intact windows of a chapel wall. I paused to admire the spaces between the rocks from several angles before continuing down the path. My route ended at another church, so if my hike was a metaphor for discovering the meaning of life, it would have been about unmet expectations, finding beauty in unexpected places, appreciating the complexity of existence, and finally discovering religion. But that didn't seem like the sort of metaphor I'd write, so instead I ended up with gelato, gloriously fruity and frozen. I spent a few more hours wandering around the town, the banks, and stopped to put my feet in the water. Suddenly, however, I was on my butt and water was seeping into my underwear and shorts. But isn't that how it goes? You stop to smell the roses, or in my case, appreciate the water, and suddenly you've lost your balance, are covered in smelly black mud, and are now running late for your train home. Fortunately, I did make the train home, and as I sat, slowly air drying, I thought about all the places I'd seen in the past semester and what they all meant. I don't know what they mean. In my head, each visit is just a dot on a map, just as when I'm traveling, I can only take it one day, one dot at a time. But eventually, maybe all the dots will line up, and I'll connect them in order to make a beautiful picture. But for now, they're just constellations that I've yet to identify. I'll see you on Friday.